Firefly Cave, The Tunnel to Australia, written and illustrated by Tlachac-Toonen. Sidney, Simon, and the Fireflies, Sparks, Lumen, and Surge were ready for another adventure. They had explored a tunnel which took them to China. Now they stood at the entrance of a second tunnel. On the cave wall was a drawing of a large animal that appeared to be hopping. "What do you suppose that creature is?" asked Sidney. "Maybe it's a giant rabbit with a long tail," offered Simon. This cave tunnel had formations on its ceiling and floor. The formations that hang from the ceiling are called stalactites, and the ones that rise up from the floor are stalagmites, Lumen explained. Sparks zoomed on ahead of the explorers, creating his light trail for the others to follow. He darted around the stalagmites, creating a swirl pattern. He was just about to round the corner when he heard some scary noises echo ahead of him in the dark. The rest of the cave explorers caught up to Sparks. Sparks motioned for everyone to be quiet. "There's something making noises up ahead," he whispered. Sidney and Sparks hid behind a rock while the others crouched behind another larger rock. Surge was so nervous he began to flicker and shake. They listened silently. All of a sudden, there was a loud thud, then a whistle, and what sounded like a flock of all different birds squawking. Simon tried to calm Surge, but it was no use. "Oh no," whispered Sidney. "Surge is going to light up. Whatever's ahead in the tunnel will know we're here." Before Sidney could finish, Surge burst into blue light and lit up the cave all around them. The cavern was fully lit by Surge's neon blue glow. Much to everyone's surprise, there was just a single bird standing in the blue light. "G'day, mates. So glad to see ya. Been lost in the cave for a bit. My name's Tully," said the bird. "We're exploring this cave to see where it goes. You're welcome to join us on our adventure," offered Sidney. Tully was glad to have friends that could light the way out of the cave. Lumen was curious where this tunnel was leading to. "Tully, what country are you from?" "I'm from Australia. It's the 6th largest country and the only one that covers an entire continent," offered Tully. "Australia is surrounded by water and is known for the Great Barrier Reef. It's filled with brilliant sea life. Here's a drawing that shows a picture of it. It's considered the world's largest organism." "I'm called a lyrebird. The name comes from the shape of my tail, which looks like an instrument called a lyre. I can mimic just about any sound I like," he bragged. Tully talked and talked. He knew everything about Australia and its animals. "Look, here's a drawing of a koala bear. They aren't really bears at all. They're marsupials. They make a rumbling bellow sound." The next drawing was an odd-looking animal. "The platypus has a bill like a duck and a furry body similar to a beaver. They can even lay eggs. Watch out, though. Their back claws are poisonous," warned Tully. "This animal is like the drawing at the entrance of the cave. What is it?" asked Simon. "That's a kangaroo. Some can hop along at up to 35 miles per hour, and one leap can cover 25 feet, said Tully. Sparks called to the explorers that he found the cave opening. He flew out into the sunlight. The entrance of this cave led to a beach. The brilliant blue ocean was as far as the eye could see. The rest of the group stepped out into the bright sunshine and soft sand. "Look, mates, it's the coral sea. I will get my friend Dive to show you the Great Barrier Reef," offered Tully. Dive is a fairy penguin. Australia's fairy or little penguins are the smallest variety of penguin. They stand only 12 to 13 inches tall, said Tully. They all headed to the water. Simon would be able to swim underwater while Sidney preferred to snorkel. Your firefly friends might want to travel underwater by glass jar for safety, suggested Tully. The sun was bright and the sandy beach was warm. A group of little penguins were marching down the shore. Tully waved for his pal Dave to come closer and handed Simon the jar with the fireflies. Dive was adorned in bangles of pearls, shells, and seaweed. She looked very much like an ocean fairy. Dive was happy to show the explorers the reef. She swam ahead of Simon as he held the fireflies jar. Sidney snorkeled his way over the reef. There were brilliant colored fish and coral everywhere. Dive showed them eels, jellyfish, sea stars, sponges, and stingrays. More bright fish than you can ever imagine. There's so much more for you to see. Look in the distance. There are dolphins and humpback whale, exclaimed Dive. The group was totally amazed by the sights underwater. As incredible as the reef was, they all knew that they would need to get back to the cave tunnel soon. Dive took them all to where Tully was basking on the beach waiting for them. Simon opened the jar so the fireflies could fly out to say goodbye to their new Australian friends. Tully and Dive made them promise that they would return one day to see more wonders. The 5 explorers headed back into the darkness of the cave. Sparks, Lumen and Surge began to glow again, lighting the way to the next tunnel and adventure.